Hey all, so, oh my god, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company just seem to want to keep dropping out more and more Pokemon news. Obviously we're getting closer and closer to November, we're getting closer to the release, so they're just going to keep spilling a little bit more. So we've had 2 videos drop, in like just the space of a couple of days. Obviously it's GamesCom, so, you know, there's an excuse to give more information. I'm not actually going to cut into these videos, so just a heads up here, it's just me talking today. There's not that much to cover, but I just really want to cover it. So, the first video of the 2 hops into telling us a little bit about the Pokemon battle system for the new game. However, the video doesn't really tell you that much. It just shows you a couple of the Dynamax moves being used. It shows you that there's single and double battles. But the press release that went with it, oh, there was so much more information. So, there is going to be an online battle system. So the stuff that like appeared recently saying, oh, there won't be blah de blah, but there is. Okay, so just ignore whatever rumor went out there. So what we're going to get is the Battle Stadium. It's an online mode. You will be able to play casual or ranked. Ranked will be following the official Pokemon tournament rules. And as they ban Pokemon and things change, that will get updated. So that's pretty cool. Obviously with ranked, as it is in Smash Brothers and other of the Nintendo games where they've got ranked competitions, you'll receive points when you win. I think you're going to lose points when you lose, but it doesn't actually say that in the press release. So that's just all we know is you gain points, and those points will determine the rank that you fall into. The rank point grouping is probably going to change as well. Just to fit with the average win-loss rate as the game goes on. So it's probably going to be easier to get to a high rank early on in the game, but then it'll get progressively harder and harder to stay in that rank. So that's really cool. That's really cool. The casual mode is just going to be, you know, pretty much all the normal Pokemon are available. Then some of the legendaries and some of the mythical Pokemon will be there as well. The idea that they want with the casual battling is that you learn better techniques, you learn how to get better, and you can use it as a training ground initially before you go into ranked. So that's going to be pretty cool. There will be online competitions, so there will be the official competitions run by the Pokemon Company, and then you as a player can create your own competitions. The competitions will be custom rules, so you could do something like fire types only, that kind of stuff. It's interesting, but they haven't released all the details there. But still, I think that's going to be pretty cool. There's no statement of a tournament mode being in it yet, but I suspect they probably will release that, if not on the release, as an update, especially because people will actually ask for that feature, just like we did with Smash, and then we got it, although sadly the online tournament was not what I wanted it to be. I wanted to create my own tournaments and host my own tournaments, and instead all it is go on and play Nintendo's tournaments and get, you know, randomly grouped in. But still, it's a bit of fun. I'm going to start playing a few of those anyway. There's going to be rental teams. So if you remember back in Pokemon Stadium 2, right? If you didn't have a Game Boy game Pokemon so that you couldn't transfer the Pokemon up into it, you could rent Pokemon teams that were pre-built into the game. So in this Battle Stadium, what they're going to allow you to do is create your own teams, offer them up as rental teams, including the official list of rental teams from Nintendo themselves and the Pokemon Company. And then other players can rent your team to compete in ranked or casual plays. So that's pretty cool. Now, what I don't know is if you will receive any benefit for creating a rental team. But it will allow players who are new to the competitive scene to learn ways of training Pokemon, move set combinations that they wouldn't think of. So there's quite a lot about building up the competitive scene, I feel, with this, which could be very interesting. So yeah, you've got a maximum of 5 teams that you can rent. So that's pretty neat. I don't think you need anything more than that. So getting into the actual battling that we saw. So they gave us a bit on Dynamaxing. Now again, this isn't in the video, but what they released in the press release is Dynamax Pokemon do not need to hold anything to Dynamax. So nothing like a Mega Stone or any of that kind of stuff. So this is pretty cool. This means that Dynamax Pokemon can hold various held items, from the berries to like a black belt and whatnot. And you can actually still tactically plan them that way. All you need to Dynamax is the Dynamax band, which is a key item for the player. So that's pretty neat. Two of the moves that they showed us was Max Geyser and Max Knuckles. The purpose of showing us these moves was to show that in addition to them causing damage, they always will have some kind of additional effect. So Max Geyser, the water type move, then causes rain. So that's pretty cool. You can use that as a nice combo. So you could have your water type does Max Geyser, now you've got rain going on, switch out for your electric type, start doing your thunder and getting guaranteed hits. So yeah, pretty cool. Max Knuckle, however, let's say you're playing a doubles. If you use Max Knuckle, your main Pokemon and your second Pokemon will both get their attacks boosted. So again, that's pretty useful, pretty powerful. I think they've actually thought about how to improve combat here, and they're doing a pretty good job. And I'm guessing with this, like all the working arounds of getting Dynamax working, this is why at the moment we don't have a national dex. I say at the moment because I do believe that the Pokemon Company will update and bring it all over. But I don't mind them not doing it. I think the national dex is not the thing for us to be bothered about and complaining about. Why? It's just like with the card games. It's better if we have a rotation of what is there for the competitive scene. Now, of course, the casual players don't care about that and want the national dex. But the reality is Pokemon is not just a story RPG, it is also an esports, so they need to cater for the esports side. And if they keep bringing in new Pokemon, they want to make sure that those new Pokemon are getting shown off during the esport events. So it makes sense here. Anyway, there are also new abilities, hidden abilities and normal abilities. So the Galarian Weezing, as awesome as he is, he gets a cool ability. I actually really like this one. So he gets neutralizing gas. So as we already talked about, how he's consuming all of the poisons and all the pollution and fixing it. So neutralizing gas kind of carries on with this, and it completely nullifies all other Pokemon abilities that causes effects. So like levitate will get cancelled, which is interesting. Something to also be concerned about is this impacts allies and foes. So there can be some problems here. Corviknight also got shown with a hidden ability of Mirror Armor. I quite like this one. So if Corviknight has Mirror Armor and it's up against a Pokemon whose hidden ability or normal ability causes a status change, it doesn't hit Corviknight, it gets reflected back to that Pokemon. So that is neat. I think that's really neat. Hidden abilities can be acquired via encountering Pokemon in the max raids. So when you're doing a max raid, that Dynamax Pokemon that you get can come with their hidden ability. They've also confirmed that the only way of getting a Gigantamax Pokemon is through the max raid system. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in the open section of this game to try and get the Pokemon that can Gigantamax. and those themselves can also get their hidden ability. So even more time is going to be needing to be spent doing as many max raids as possible. So playing with friends is going to become quite a key piece to be able to get the Pokemon that you want, to be able to train those Pokemon up, to be able to get a good competitive creature. I think that's a good move. Some people probably don't, but for me, I like to. I might just go out of frame. I like to play with my friends. I like to. I like the idea of being able to get into the competitive scene in a different way, and I don't mind the grind. I mean, it's an RPG. If you mind the grind, why are you playing an RPG? Honestly. Then they revealed some new items. So this is also pretty cool. These items are going to also allow us to have some considerations in the competitive game. So room service. This will lower a Pokemon's speed if you successfully use Trick Room. And then you've got a jetpack, where if a Pokemon has its stats changed by a move, it will instantly switch out with another Pokemon in your team. So this will basically cancel out that status effect. Sorry, the stat change. So that's pretty cool. Over into the second video that they dropped this week, we got to see a bit of the first town that you get to play in. I think I quite like the looks of this town. It looks like a quaint British town. The shops remind me of more of the older British towns, so something like you might see up in Scotland, in say Edinburgh, or even in Yorkshire. They're quite cute in the way that they look. So your Pokemon Center doesn't happen to be this like unique building like they normally are. It's part of the whole architecture and setting design, so that's pretty neat. They didn't really go into what you will see inside the Pokemon Center. Obviously, we know that you've got what will be your Nurse Joy, and you've got the new Rotom computer. I suspect there's some other stuff in there. The Pokemon Mart is still there. That's also had a little bit of a change. There is flower shops that you can find, and there are clothes shops so that you can go and get your outfit changed. We also got shown that in addition to the taxi, there will be another way of travelling around Galar by train, which if you've ever been to the UK, or if you are from the UK, you know that trains are a key way of us travelling around, although they have gotten to a point now where they're so expensive it's cheaper to take a plane to some of the places across the UK instead, which is just a new level of lunacy in my opinion. But anyway, there will be a train network. They showed that off. They showed that you get like a little board showing you the times of the trains running. You've got a turnstile to go through, and there's a ticket shop. What we don't know, and what they didn't reveal there, is if you have access to that straight away, or if you need to go and do some stuff before it's unlocked. Maybe you need the second gym badge or something like that to force you to walk around for a little bit before you can start training around the place. Or maybe you need to have gone to that town first to be able to take the train. We just don't know. We don't know at all with that. I can guarantee, however, that there will be a town that you can only get to by the trains, because that's just the kind of stuff they do in the Pokemon games. If they're going to give you a way that you have to transport, they will lock it off to that, just to give you some things to go and do before you can get to that place. So yeah, I actually like a lot of these features. It's making me even more excited. And just quickly before we cut off onto this, Pokemon Masters, as I've said before, it's up for pre-registration. It has got over 1 million pre-registrations. That's crazy. I think this game is going to be good. Some people have gained access to the beta release, so they're already beta testing. That tells me that the game's probably going to be coming out pretty soon, so keep an eye out on that. And the Pokemon trading cards, if you have any interest in the Pokemon trading cards, I only collect them, so it doesn't really fuss me, but there is a new card coming. So you've had the GXs, you've had the tag teams, you are now going to be getting V cards. Who knows what they're going to be, but I suspect that that's where you're going to see the Dynamax and Gigantamax versions of Pokemon. That's my guess with those. But they're coming, so if you collect those, keep an eye out. I guess they'll be moving into that as the next set of cards once the games come out. So some point in December, I guess, will be the release of that. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think about the game. Are you enjoying these updates? Do you like these little news segments? I know they're not like full news segments, but at some point I'll probably do it a bit more proper. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, so I'm going to sign off here. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, give us a like. If not, give us a dislike. Let's have a chat in the comments. And until next time, keep it geeky.